Again, a lot of people ask this question to see who will win it, and there's so many amazing talents, so many amazing players, a lot of money, especially in the teams. So I think it's like literally a lottery, who could win it. What I would like to see, and I thought about it, it's a question that you know, is going through my mind, and it probably determined who is the best player of all. I'd love to see Argentina and Portugal in the final, and then let Messi and Ronaldo fight it out. Look, that's a big question that's going around, especially in Australia. We know he left Australia to get more games over in England. He went back to his original club, Millwall. He got limited time there. Look, the most important thing for Tim is that he's there. He is there because he's a big influence, and just seeing his name on the team sheet will always put doubt and questions into a manager's mind, whether what can they do if he comes on this kind of thing. He can change a game. Yeah, it's not great that he hasn't got the minutes under him, but again, he's experienced enough, and his knowledge of the game, especially at that level, should be enough to get him and see him through it.
For me, just being here now, it means so much to me. You know, I've put so much effort in the last year or so to be here. So to get on the pitch is going to be one step, but to score would just be amazing. You know, I think as a kid you dream of scoring in one World Cup, but to join the list of names that are on there now would be priceless. We're all sitting here now as a squad of 23 and staff, and now it's where everything comes into fruition of, you know, being able to play one of the best teams in the world this Saturday, and I've really enjoyed it. But it comes with challenges, and you have to overcome that. And as a footballer, I suppose it's the most rewarding thing when I can sit here now in my 4th World Cup campaign to be able to hopefully contribute to another special moment.
Look, man, it's finally the first day of the World Cup. We've been sitting through FIFA meetings. We've had long days.
With it.
We're ready for games. We're ready for fans.
Can we just be fans?
You know what we want to find? We want to find some...
Oh! Let's go! Woo! Ay, 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 ay.
So the jersey with the 3-hour lines in London, that's the only place you can find it is all the way in Russia. What's the new hotness? It is. Does this fit you? Hurt, dude. This, what we're about to see, is the best part of this fan shop.
Is this the retro?
Yeah, this is the old school jerseys. Let's check this out. Old school Germany jersey, Spain, Belgium. Ooh, my favorite, look at this, look at this, look at this. Classic USSR there. I know Craig Burley's not going to like this, but I found some friends from CONCACAF, Costa Rica. A ver, ¿cuál es el grito de gol de los ticos?
Tercer partido. Nada más 3.
Qué negativo no puede ser. Yeah, we asked him when we were going to get there. He said only 3 games for Mexico out in the group phase. A Peruvian who speaks English, okay.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Are there more people from Peru in Moscow or in Lima right now?
I guess we have everybody in Moscow right now.
No, there's only like 300,000 people on the island of Iceland. Are there more people from Iceland here or in Iceland right now?
I think it's about equal now.
Al quinto.
¡Al quinto! ¡Vámonos al quinto! ¡Vámonos al quinto! ¡Vámonos al quinto! All right, this game's about to start. It's crowding up in here. I think we better go find a spot, huh?
Insane. Let's go. Let's find somewhere.
So we get to Fan Fest, I start working hard. Suddenly, next thing I know, I can't find Hercules Gomez, you know? Where does he go? He leaves me to do all the hard work. Oh, let me ask, where could he be? Where could he be? Right up here in the front line. Hey, güey. Oh, hey, good to see you. We start
of the lines that way.
We start doing work and you just disappear. Come
Back
get a
of the
beer.
lines
What's
that
going
way.
on, man?
You guys take too long.
Hey, saluda. Dude, sit down for a second, bro. This fan fest is crazy. Have you ever seen this many people in one place? I know we were just in this fan. There's a whole other fan fest right next door.
Yes. I think it was the 2010 World Cup.
All right, we survived our day at Fan Fest. Russia won comfortably over Saudi Arabia. Your analysis of the match?
I spent about an hour in the concessions line. I didn't see any of the game. All I heard was cheering.
Good stuff. Top-notch analysis out of you. All I saw was the back of a bunch of heads, so you didn't miss much being in the Fan Fest.
Well, you're not very tall, so yes.
Always got to sneak in the sword jokes. At least we got some shopping done, huh?
Well then,
I love it.
hold on a second. I thought he was a DC United fan.
Yeah, why has he got Minnesota United?
I'm just saying, controversial.
Oh, look, I bet you wish you were there with them.
I fancy a backpack now.
What are they carrying around in there? No idea.
About the part where they said, there's a lot of people here in the fan fest. Well, except behind you, the table is empty. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's people here. Eric, have you got your backpack? Have you got your backpack? Have you got yours? We're doing a fan fest. You need a backpack. You've got to mix in with the locals.
Okay.
How many more of them's coming?
Every day. Every day they're out and about.
They're quite funny.
That could get bigger and bigger, couldn't it?
Hey,
But they will
they are good value because they're a couple of clowns.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Statler and Waldorf, bring them on.
Nice insight into what is going on in Russia. And just a reminder, you can hear from them as well.
Oh.
You've got the podcast 2 on 3, the boys breaking down everything you need to know about Mexico's campaign in the World Cup.
Diego Reyes was announced out of the World Cup with a hamstring injury, and his spot on the roster was given to Eric Gutierrez. Let's start with Diego Reyes. From your perspective, what has Mexico lost here?
Well, let's start with El Capricho de Juan Carlos Osorio.
Okay.
That stubbornness, that need to have him until the very final last minute.
You really hated that. You really
Yes.
hated how long this wait
I
went.
do. I think it's very unfair to Eric Gutierrez. I think it puts a burden on the rest of the squad. There's kind of this dark cloud. There's kind of this, oh, what's happening? What's going on? It's a distraction. Plus, I also don't think, with all due respect to Diego Reyes, that he's Rafa Marquez 10 years ago where you have to wait till the last second for him. What do they lose? Well, defensive depth. And this is something that they're already lacking. You lose Nestor Araujo, he's gone. He's arguably, I don't know how this is an argument, but he's arguably your best defender. Then you'll go ahead, and Hector Moreno is coming off an injury. And then you have to miss Diego Reyes, and who's going to slide into the center? Is it a domino effect? Will it be Carlos Salcedo, who's been playing predominantly as a right back, 2 slots in the center midfield or center of the defensive park with Hector Moreno? And if he does that, who goes on the right? Will it be Layun, or will it be who I think is going to be Edson Alvarez, who to me has been the biggest winner out of this last month with La Selección Mexicana. And then if that happens, who goes in the midfield? To me, it's such a domino effect, these injuries. And I think Diego Reyes, the fact that it was Eric Gutierrez who was kind of on standby for Diego Reyes makes me feel he was never, in fact, in line to be a center back. If not, you don't let Alanis go home. You don't let Osvaldo Alanis go home. That means you're thinking of using him as a defensive midfielder.
So he's not then in that way defensive depth like you're describing.
Well, that's the thing. That leads me to believe he's not. But I would never bet on what Juan Carlos Osorio is thinking, because he goes in and he tells us that Gaito Vázquez isn't here because he has Jesus Molina. And then Jesus Molina he sends home, so there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, he could have been the starting center back along Hector Moreno for all I know. But it wouldn't have made sense, and he still would have done it.
So when this news broke, you tweeted out kind of, final 23 is set for mi selección. MX, I'm reading your tweet here. I kind of quote tweeted you. I said, how many minutes, if any, do folks out there think Eric Gutierrez will play in this tournament? I'm just reading from my tweet. If you could have had one current healthy player waiting in the wings to join this team, who would it be? We got some interesting responses, but Specifically, the first one here comes in from Guti and from Francisco Centeno. He says, I think Guti plays against Korea if Mexico is comfortably winning and to make sure Guardado is 100% against Sweden. Do you see a clear role for Gutierrez in this 3-game tournament?
Clear role, no. Participation, yes. I don't think any player on this national team has a clear role. They don't know if they're going to start, if they're coming off the bench, in what position. So clear role, no. I do see 21 of the 23 players playing. So the only 2 players for me who don't get any taste or any action in this tournament, bearing injury, are the 2 reserve goalkeepers. Other than that, all the field players are going to see some action because that is Juan Carlos Osorio. That is who he is.
So this is an interesting question, kind of on the follow-up from that. This from Soccer Never Sleeps. He says, does this mean we see Rafa at center back? They're getting really thin at center back right now. I mean, we have always kind of said that's not why he's here. Is there a break glass in case of emergency situation where you'd use Rafa in that way?
Yeah. It's a 3 center back line, five defenders in the back, something where you could protect them. We've spoken about this before, maybe in the Sweden game. But other than that, it would have to be, like you said, break glass in case of emergency situation, which could be very disastrous. Could you imagine if there's another injury before the Germany game and you have to have Rafa Marquez facing Timo Werner? It would be...
Yikes.
Yes.
Strength on weakness. Speed on slow.
Yeah, with just speed to start.
Yeah,
speed, athleticism.
Speed on slow. Yeah.
Yes, speed on very
Rafa
slow,
has a
and
lot
not
of
only
things.
not only on Rafa, Hector Moreno. Hector
Right.
Moreno is not a so he's not going to help Rafa Marquez out at all.
We
There.
talked about Hugo Ayala. Hugo Ayala's not really a speedster at center back. I know you think he's faster than I do, but that's not.
Listen, he's the faster out of those 3 center backs. But
sure, but it's not.
That's not saying much.
Oh, no. It's not really the descriptor of his game. We're picking at Juan Carlos Osorio a little bit here on the Diego Reyes thing, because we're saying, well, maybe this is a player that's not worth waiting for. And really, if you look at it, man, beyond the injury, you have to go. If you go back to like Valentine's Day of this year, you know how many club games he started since then?
I couldn't tell you, but not many.
One.
Okay.
One. And the one he started on Valentine's Day was the 5-0 Liverpool massacre against Porto in Champions League. So that one didn't really go
played the
well.
least minutes in 2018?
For El Tri?
Yes.
Who?
Diego Reyes.
Diego Reyes, that's right. Well, I mean, injury, I think factors into that.
Well, we're talking
Because
about
if you look
6
at,
months.
But if you look at...
Has he been injured for 6 months?
No,
Seba?
but if you look back at 2017, Diego Reyes played a ton of minutes.
Okay.
A big part of the process...
That wasn't what I said. 2018. So 6 months he's been injured?
I understand that, but from the
He's
Osorio...
played the least minutes.
But from the Osorio perspective, this is a guy that Osorio has been including and
why
using
hasn't
and using
Why
and
has he
using.
played the least minutes at anybody then?
In 2018, and a lot of that does have to do with injury. In
That's
2007...
6 months, Seba. That's half a year.
Okay,
leading
but-
up to the World Cup.
But 6
Don't
months...
you think if
6
you're
months of
starting player, if
Stop,
such an important player is going to participate in the World Cup, he wouldn't be a player with the least minutes of the whole roster in a 6-month span?
Okay, but you're saying 6 months. 6 months in international soccer is like 3 FIFA dates, dude.
No, it's not. Not pre-World Cup. No, absolutely not.
And yes, it is until
No,
the
it's
last
not.
3 games that they've played, and those he's been hurt for.
Seba, it's a World Cup year, 6 months into it.
You're acting like
and
Juan
this
Carlos
player,
Osorio
you just
hasn't
came up,
used Reyes.
You just came up and told me that he played 1 club game.
Yeah. No.
I'm telling you, he's played the least out of anybody.
I'm giving you the Osorio perspective. I'm saying this is a guy who has leaned on him in the past. You're looking at 2018, which is...
Of course, because that's what you go by in a World Cup is form.
Right, but if I'm trying to explain this, I see Osorio's use of him in 2017. He really has a vision and a use for this guy.
Well, I think it's obvious
And
that
the-
he
and
has
the
a use
counter-
for him and a vision, because if not, he wouldn't have waited so long.
And the
to make a
counter to
decision.
that is he's had no use and no vision for Eric Gutierrez.
That's
How much has Gutierrez played? 17, 18.
Well, that's this no rhyme, no reason thing that we see sometimes with Gallito Vázquez and Molina being over Gallito Vázquez, and Molina not even making the group. So
I don't want to, for lack of a better term, crap on Gutierrez. I think he's a really good player. I feel like kind of the way we're talking about it now, I think he's absolutely part of this team going forward. He's a very young guy. He's being courted now in Europe.
Okay.
Maybe he's a surprise here. Is there any way
Of
he
course,
can
of
he
course.
can be like one of these great World Cup stories where this guy is like out in star.
We see that all the time.
Yeah, right?
Andres Guardado, Chicharito
I
Hernandez.
understand you're getting a little like Mexican fan grasping here,
No,
right?
no, no. And that's fair. We see this all the time, and not just on the Mexican national team.
Sure.
Here is the counterpoint to that. And Eric Gutierrez is 22 years old, fantastic
Yes.
prospect.
Yeah.
But Los Cuatro Mosqueteros that Pachuca had, okay? Do you remember them?
Chucky, HH,
Chucky, Gutierrez, Pizarro,
Pizarro, sí, sorry.
and Jürgen Damm.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Héctor Herrera
A lot
wasn't
of that
there.
kind-
Yeah, it was
Hey, so I was
before.
going to say, I think there's... Go ahead. So you finish
Yes.
your point. I was going to ask something else.
Who's the one yet to make that next step?
Gutierrez. I
Eric
mean,
Gutierrez, and he's coming off an abysmal calendar year with Pachuca.
Yeah.
Now, form is relative. If he can somehow find good form because of how talented the players are around him, you've got some, for the first time in a long time, some real talent on the wings for this Mexican national team. And not just the two starters that we think, not just Tecatito and not just Irving Lozano. I mean, Javier Aquino, you could potentially have Vela playing as an inverted winger.
Which I hate, just for the record.
Fine. Giovanni in a pinch. You've got some talent. You really have players who can harm the opposition. So if you have that type of talent to work with, that type of material, Eric Gutierrez can for sure have himself a tournament.
You know what? I'm going to say something controversial and say I think they can, because they know what's against them. They know how good this other team is, and they know they have to absolutely work their socks off. And better equipped teams can go into a match thinking they're a little bit clever, a little bit smart, but when you know you've got to fight and punch and scrap and you're the underdog and you've got nothing to lose, that can be an enormous benefit to a team. And so I'm going to say, you know, if I had to put some, and I'm not a gambler, some sneaky money somewhere, it's Australia to get through.
Go over to the website, you can check out the archive of all our boys making their predictions as to who will win the World Cup. Robbo, the latest, well, that is until now. As it up steps, Mr. Casey Keller, it's your turn, Case. Let's start off, as always, with the group stages.
Yes.
You've got a little bit of a run on everyone. Russia, of course, after that win. You got them going through Uruguay.
I'd actually picked it before the match.
Yeah, exactly. Spain, Portugal, France, Peru over Denmark.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, I just felt that maybe Peru were going to do something.
Argentina, Croatia. Meanwhile, let's take it through to the remaining groups, Brazil, Serbia. No Mexico for you.
No, I like what Sweden did out of a tough group and then beating Italy. I think
Aren't you supposed to be supporting Mexico?
No chance ever.
Belgium, England, and then Colombia, Poland. So that then sets up our bracket for the knockout stages. Let's start off on this side, shall we? Spain or Russia?
Spain.
You can press it, Casey.
Okay, I think Spain has a chance of winning the
And then
whole
you press
tournament.
that bit there, and it goes through there. Perfect.
One right there.
Okay, Argentina.
Argentina are going there.
Because you pressed Spain before, right? Here we go. Spain, Argentina, Germany, Serbia.
Germany.
No, don't put it up there.
I want to put it here.
Colombia, England.
I'm sorry, I think England's coming
Why?
through, and I know it's happening.
There you go. Don't worry, Case. I'll sort it out.
Why don't you just do this?
Let's take it on the other side. Uruguay,
Okay.
Portugal.
I think Uruguay's going to beat Portugal.
Uruguay to beat Portugal. France, Croatia, meanwhile.
I think Croatia is going to beat.
Really? Why?
Yes, because I don't know. France. I thought the U.S. had a great performance the other day with a young team, but I just don't think France are as good as everybody thinks they are.
Wow. Okay. Brazil, Sweden.
Brazil.
Oh, that was easy.
Yes.
Belgium, Poland.
I think Belgium's going to come through.
You've got to press it again. And again.
There it goes.
And that bit there.
Thank you.
There we go. Right. Let's take it into the quarterfinals. Uruguay or Croatia.
Ooh. I think Croatia.
Croatia? You like a bit of Croatia?
I do.
What's wrong with your hands?
I don't
Get your
know.
gloves on.
I know. I need to put some gloves on.
Okay.
And
Meanwhile,
then this is
Brazil or Belgium?
Yep. I think Brazil get through. And Brazil.
Right, Brazil, Croatia, one in the semi-finals. Let's take it through to the other side then. Spain, Argentina.
Spain are coming through.
Spain?
Yep, you can hit that.
Have you given up now?
I have.
Germany, Colombia.
Germany.
Right then. That is some tasty semi-finals.
Thank you.
Then. Let's take it through down here. Spain or Germany?
Spain. I have Spain winning it. So.
Oh, well, don't spoil it.
And then Brazil.
And then Spain.
Spain beating Brazil. Even
What about
with
the turmoil?
I don't know. I think it's gonna galvanize the team.
You think so? It's
Yes.
going to bring them together. Spain
Correct.
then to win the 2018 World Cup, according to Casey Keller.
Lo primero que quiero decir es gracias, presidente. Muchas gracias, Real Madrid, por la confianza que me habéis brindado, por la responsabilidad que asumo con muchísimo orgullo y también con mucha fuerza. Sea al club que vengo, sé que es la máxima exigencia. Aquí todo no vale, con lo cual vamos a tratar de dar lo mejor absolutamente de nosotros, sin ningún tipo de duda. Vamos a luchar por estar a la altura de la historia del club e incluso por mejorarla. No tengo ninguna duda que por trabajo no va a quedar. Me siento capacitado para tamaña aventura. Y además siento, desde que he entrado al club, a la ciudad deportiva, siento esa fuerza que acompaña al Real Madrid, esa fuerza, esa energía, que estoy seguro que como entrenador me va a hacer falta, porque hay que tenerla en este club y sin ninguna duda la vamos a utilizar en aras de seguir creciendo futbolísticamente, gestionando el gran patrimonio de jugadores que tenemos y estando al lado de uno del otro, de conseguir llegar a las cimas más altas, que son ganar todo. El Real Madrid aspira a ganar todo y aspiraremos a ganar todo. Bueno, a partir de ahí, nuevamente reiterar las gracias a todos. Me siento parte de la familia del Real Madrid y, insisto, ayer fue un día posiblemente desde la muerte de mi madre el más triste de mi vida. Pero hoy es el día más feliz de mi vida. Muchas gracias y estoy a disposición de lo que queráis.
It doesn't bother me. I'm firstly extremely happy to be a part of Bert's squad. Secondly, I think the fact that I've been able, that I was aware of it coming in, and that the last sort of 3 weeks I've been able to focus. It's been good. It's not always easy getting shifted around or not knowing where I was going to play, and it's obviously for me a different way of playing. I have to do things differently. I think I'm playing in midfield for a long time. I play different passes. I see things differently. So being able to focus and train in one position definitely makes it easier. And also being able to, I guess, fight for one position, sort of gives me a little bit more hope.